In a small town hidden deep in the countryside, nobody took the 2025 vaccine. No one expected what would happen next. Some say it was courage, others call it madness. But what unfolded shocked doctors, journalists, and the entire nation. The year was 2025. After new reports of rare vaccine side effects spread online, the people of a small town called Greyfield decided they'd had enough. They were a tight-knit community, skeptical of outside influence, and fiercely independent. When the national vaccination campaign rolled out, they held a town hall meeting. The mood was defiant, voices rose, sharing articles and anecdotes from the internet. Fear and distrust won the day. Ultimately, only 3% of Greyfield's population got vaccinated. The lowest rate in the entire country. Health officials pleaded with them, presenting data and warning of the severe risks. They tried to explain that the side effects were incredibly rare compared to the dangers of the virus itself. But the townspeople held fast to a different belief. Nature is smarter than a needle. One resident famously said, "Our natural immunity will protect us." They tore down public health posters and ignored the news. They felt united, strong in their conviction. For a while, their confidence seemed justified. The first week passed with no incident. Then the second. Life in Greyfield went on as usual. Children played in the park. The local diner was full, and neighbors chatted over garden fences. They felt proud, like they had outsmarted a system they didn't trust. They saw themselves as defenders of personal freedom. But this peaceful illusion was about to be shattered. It started quietly. One morning, the town's beloved baker called in sick with a high fever. The next day, two children from the elementary school were sent home with a cough. Then a farmer, then a librarian, then another and another. It was like a silent wave washing over the town. At first, people dismissed it as the seasonal flu. But this was different. The fevers were higher, the coughs more severe. Within just 10 days, the situation had spiraled out of control. Nearly half the town was sick. The town's small clinic was completely overwhelmed. The nearest major hospital, 50 miles away, soon ran out of beds as ambulances from Greyfield arrived one after another. The outbreak was traced back to a single visitor, a tourist who had unknowingly brought the virus with them from a distant city. The virus, which had been mostly contained in vaccinated populations, found fertile ground in Greyfield. A public health nightmare was unfolding, and the nation watched in horror. This is where the story took an unexpected turn. Faced with a catastrophe of their own making, the people of Greyfield didn't break down into chaos or point fingers. Instead of giving in to panic, something remarkable happened. They came together. The very same community spirit that had led them to reject the vaccine was now channeled into saving one another. Local teachers, with schools closed, became volunteer caretakers, delivering food and medicine to sick neighbors. Churches and the community hall were transformed into makeshift clinics, staffed by retired nurses and anyone with first aid training. The town that had prided itself on saying no now made a courageous U-turn. The mayor, his voice heavy with regret, made a public appeal. He invited back the very same medical team they had once rejected. And this time, the response was different. For the first time, every eligible adult who was still healthy lined up for the vaccination. There was no debate, no hesitation. They had learned the hard way that a virus doesn't care about opinions or beliefs. It was a somber, emotional day. Neighbors who had once shared misinformation held each other's hands in the queue, their faces a mixture of relief and sorrow. Months later, Greyfield looked like a different place. The town had one of the highest immunity rates in the country, a combination of vaccination and recovery. The scars of the outbreak were still visible in the families who had lost loved ones and in the quiet memorials that dotted the town square. But for the survivors, the vaccine was more than just medicine. It was a profound and painful lesson. They learned that misinformation can spread faster and be more destructive than any virus. They realized that in a connected world, personal choice can have community-wide consequences, and most importantly, they discovered that sometimes it takes a tragedy to break down walls of distrust and rebuild a community on a foundation of science and shared responsibility. Greyfield had said no, and had paid a terrible price. But in the end, their story became a powerful testament to the resilience of a community that found the courage to admit its mistake and choose a different path. Your town could be next. The battle between information and misinformation is happening every day. Stay informed with credible sources, and don't wait for a tragedy to learn the truth. Subscribe for more real stories that reveal the critical lessons hidden behind the headlines. Thanks for watching.